Welcome everybody to Latif's Inspired. Today I'll be cooking a brown rice recipe. It's really simple, really easy for you to follow. My brother cooked a dish for me. He roasted a piece of lamb. He used sort of the fats from the lamb, obviously the dripping of the lamb. And he cooked a rice, and he put the rice at the bottom, and he put the baking tray of the lamb on top, and it drizzled down to the rice, and it had an absolutely gorgeous flavour. So I just thought I've had loads of comments on my Facebook page, Latif's Inspired, as well as my Latif's Inspired Instagram page, for more vegetarian dishes. I did a tarka dal, and it's doing absolutely phenomenal, as well as the chicken madras. As soon as I put it on, the views are just absolutely gone off the roof. So it's fantastic and it's lovely support. So today I'll be cooking a very special brown rice with mixed vegetables. Very simple and very easy for you to follow at home. So I hope you follow me and try to cook this at home. Thank you. Right. It's 3:45 p.m. so I'll just see how long it takes for this to cook. I'll put it on medium-high gas. Nice and clean pot. Now it's the vegetable ghee. No, sorry, vegetable oil. Exactly about half a cup there, guys. Right, that was a couple of minutes while it heated up. Right, I'm going to throw in the onions. Onions, green peppers and red peppers. So that's a cup measurement of onions and a cup measurement of green and red peppers. As the Americans call it, bell peppers, capsicum, whatever. Put the heat up slightly. I'm going to put the lid on. So what the lid does is helps all the steam cook off the onions and caramelize nicely. Once it's got a bit of colour, then I'm going to add the other ingredients, guys. Right, it's been about a couple of minutes, guys. I'm going to check up on it. I'm a very impatient person when it comes to food. I need to, yep, as I suspected, some onions are caramelizing beautifully. So it's on sort of a high heat, hence the reason for it caramelizing quite quick. And obviously I put the lid on. It created a steam to soften the onions, which I wanted. Now I'm going to throw in these chilies. So I'll just take the tips off. Releases all the spices from the seeds, the ginger garlic paste and the grated garlic. It goes in there. Got a fair bit of oil, so it would caramelize beautifully. 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to use some stock cubes. So stock cubes tend to be quite salty, so I don't want to overpower the rice. You can always add a bit of salt when you're eating it, which isn't very good because you want to get it bang on. But I reckon 1 stock cube is about probably a teaspoon of salt, it seems like, to be honest with you. So I'm going to use about a couple of cubes of stock cubes. So therefore it's equivalent to about 3 teaspoons of salt. I'm assuming 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt. So I'm not going to add any more. Right, the onions and ginger, because of the heat of the oil, I've caramelized. beautifully, as I can see, within a couple of minutes. Like, the spices have just gone in. Give this a nice mix. This is a beautiful vegetable rice. You can just have it on its own, or maybe a grilled fish, some grilled meats. Oh my gosh, now the fragrance is absolutely beautiful. That I can promise you. So as you know, after you put the spices in, lower your heat, and it tends to stick to the bottom of the pan. There you go. Now I'm adding the tomatoes. Just going to keep a bit for the vegetables. These tomatoes are going to sort of go mushy. I'm just leaving a few just for a little taste. I'll explain why later. Beautifully cooking away. I just want everything just to soften up, but still to remain as it is, sort of in shape, before I add the rice. Right, it's been a few minutes. I don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan. The onions have softened up beautifully. Now I'm going to add the brown rice. You can add white rice to this, but brown rice, easy cook, long grain, is beautiful. When it's cooked, it's individual and fluffy, beautiful. So I want it to, in the oil and the spices, I want it to coat all of the rice. I'm going to put the gas up a little bit. I think the grains have got coated in all the spices and the oil. I can see some nice glaze. Now I used about 4 cups of rice, so I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 cups of rice, so there's 4 cups of water, and I tend to use the measurement of about 1.5 cups per cup of rice, so 1.5 cups per water. So if it's 4 cups of rice, it'll be 2 cups of water. There you go. So that was 4 cups of rice, 6 cups of water. That should be plenty. And brown rice doesn't need much water as white rice, because obviously the starch has already come out of it when they made it, sort of like the brown rice kind of thing. That's why it's not white. It tends to be like brown. They take all the starch out, so it's more healthier. But there you go. Put the gas up to high heat, and once the water's evaporated to the consistency that I want, then if you're wondering what the vegetables doing here, what the hell are the vegetables doing, I'll show you in a bit. Put the lid on for a quicker process. Put the heat on high flame and let that cook out. It takes about 5-10 minutes in this process. Blimey, I think the pressure got to me. Right, I forgot to add the stock cubes. Not to worry, this happens in life. So when you're stressed out, you tend to forget stuff. But it can be saved. It always can be. Alright, I'm going to crumble this up, whack it in. I've used kettle water, boiling kettle water, so I'm suspecting this to come out quicker than normal. So there you go. Need to make sure I mix the rice properly so the stock cubes break up. There's plenty of water in here at this very moment for that to happen. I know why I've done that. I've actually, because I'm filming and I'm filming this by myself today, so it's a bit more stress. I normally put everything in front of me so I know what I'm going to add next, which I didn't do. I put everything except the stock cubes, hence the reason for me forgetting. Right, but I managed to save it in time. I can see the little green bits there, the stock cubes have dissolved. Thank God. Alhamdulillah, I've caught it in time. Or the flavour that I wanted I would have not got, neither would you have at home. Then I would have had to apologise, etc. There you go. Look at the rice eating up all the water, absorbing it beautifully. This is a very healthy, wintry dish. I mean, these colours just reminds you of this lovely wintry sort of time. Yep, the green peppers, red peppers have kept its shape. It hasn't sort of broken up, because if you soften it up too much, that's what would have happened, which I didn't want. There you go. Well, the cooking process so far has been about 18-19 minutes. I can just see. Right now, I'm going to add the vegetables. I could have waited for the water to evaporate a little bit more, because the vegetables basically just sits on top and lets the steam cook it, and it sort of covers the rice as well, so it helps the rice to hold it, lock in its steam and just cook to a proper. There you go, the water's getting up now. What I'm going to do, put it on very low gas. I can foil this up, I'm not going to bother. Put the lid on, and this process normally takes another 15 minutes on very low heat. So make sure it's low as possible. There you go. The timer is bang on 4 o'clock. So I started cooking 4. Now it's 4 o'clock, the whole process. Now I'm going to wait about 15-20 minutes for it to cook on low gas, and it should be nice and fluffy until the end. Right, it's been about 15 minutes. Steaming away. I can see the water sort of evaporated. Yep. Right, as you've seen, it's a very simple dish, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And I don't really use stock cubes, but for this dish, I swear to God, it is absolutely gorgeous. And you must try it because it brings a nice little flavour to it. And obviously it's a fantastic brand, the Knorr brand. And sometimes I've used the other stock cubes and it's not as nice. But the Knorr brand is very nice, and you can almost taste some of the vegetables, so whatever they use in it is absolutely gorgeous. But with the brown rice, as I said, You can have it on its own. It's absolutely gorgeous, and you must try this at home. And try to incorporate more brown rice in your diet. Good fibers, it's healthy for you. I'm trying to do that myself. Eat a bit more healthy, not always the naan breads with the ghee, butter, the white rice. So the brown rice is really good for you. You must try it at home. And again, if you enjoyed what you've seen, make sure to like, share and subscribe if you've enjoyed it. And hopefully see you soon on the next vlog. Thank you very much.